Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Turnaround Coach, your place to get some great strategy to help you make your turnaround, your transformation, the very best it can be. Let's get started with this week's topic, which is how do you plan to build your people? Now, we've been talking a lot over the last 26 weeks. Yes, this is episode number 26. And we've been talking about different little strategies that really made a huge impact on all of the turnarounds that I did, all of the times where I had to go into an organization, mainly schools, but also working with clients now, and really sit down and dig deep into what's going on and what are the priority strategies that are going to get you to where you need to go quicker, faster, better, right? So this week, I want to talk about this topic of how do you build your people? We're in a new calendar year, right? Now, for us at schools, it was a little bit different because we always lived on a school year calendar. However, it was pretty significant when we take this break at the holiday time and then start to work on going into the second semester. So I'm just going to kind of talk generally about the calendar year. All of us sit down and we write goals and we review where we've been and we set our action plans and we really dig into what is going to get us to where we want to go. And one of the things that I learned about that process when you have employees is that you also need to think about your people. So when we would set goals, we would sit down and we'd look at what of our systems and processes and procedures are working, and let's adjust if we needed. We would look at climate and culture. What operations do we have that's getting us where we need to go with our people, the climate, the culture, what kinds of things. But when we would do that, I didn't at first think about my people need to have training. So let me give you an example. I took over my very first school and I knew that prior to me and the principal that I replaced, who was removed, remember, had come there, the school was making drops. They were not on a path of success. Now, the principal that I came on board with, he was ridiculous. I'm just going to say it, and made everything worse. However, even if we would have gone back to just the level that they were at prior to me getting there, we would not have been in a good place. Even if I had been hired at the start of that year, I still would have had to do work to be able to get us to where we need to go, right? So this was a trend. The trend was going down. The culture was changing. The things were happening that were not helping the school make progress. And the district was very concerned. So I went in and I looked at climate. I looked at how were people getting along? How were people interacting with each other? What types of things were we doing to build their morale? I looked at culture. How do we do things here? What systems are in place to help manage student behaviors? All of those things. I looked at the processes, the procedures, and the systems. I looked at me as a brand new principal, and I thought, if I'm going to be able to do this work, here are the skills I'm going to have to develop in my own self. But what I didn't look at was the fact that they were already struggling prior to me coming in. So they had some skills they were missing. There were some gaps. I didn't want to assume that they were just not doing it. I had to believe that they were not getting it done in the right manner because of so many things, but also maybe because of their skill set. And when I realized that and started to make a plan for their development, that's when I saw bigger things happen, if that makes sense. So let's talk about that. As you are going into 2024, if you are the leader of an organization where you have people working for you, 1, 2, 10, 100, how are you determining the skill set of your people? And how do you address making a plan for their development. And here's the thing, if you have one person, you only need to look at one person, right? Besides yourself. But if you have 100 people, sometimes you can do a big group plan, but most times you're also going to have to differentiate that for individual employees or groups. How do you do that? Do you take the time to sit and reflect? Do you ask your people for their input? I've been talking a lot about leadership styles recently, and one of the best styles that gets the best results is a transformational leader. And as a transformational leader, you do believe in your people, and you have this vision that you all can improve, and you empower your people to do the work. And part of empowering them, which we've talked about through this channel before, is that you listen to them, you hear them. So do you ask them, where do you think you're strong, and what are some things that you need to work on? I used to use these little surveys, and I would give them to my people, and I would just ask them to determine their areas of strength and their areas of growth. And then I would collect that information, and then I could develop what I needed. Or I would go into their meetings, their weekly meetings, and I would talk to them about different strategies and different things where I could start to listen and observe and understand. Here are where the deficits are. There's several ways that you can do this. I don't think there's one set way, and I don't know if you even need to do it just in one way. It depends, of course, on your organization, the growth of your people, and it depends on how many people you are overseeing. But I think what's most important is that we take the time to do that. So as you are going into 2024 and you're really working on your goals for the year, your action plans, all of the things that's going to take your organization from point A to point F, right? All the way in 1 year, don't forget about your people, and don't forget about the needs that they have in the area of their skill set, because it's not always about their willingness to do something. It's more about their capacity to do it the way in which you want it done. All right, guys, that's everything for this week. Of course, if you need more information or if you want some extra support, reach out to me. You can find me at SherryDixonConsulting.com or SherryDixonConsulting@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you soon. In the meantime, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you right back here on Turnaround Coach next week.